Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Sarah.
And I'm Nate, and you're watching SaraNate. Today, we will be ranking, Sarah, Disney princesses.
Las princesas.
That's right. Now, we've compiled a list from the official Disney Princess website, which shockingly had only 12 princesses, Sarah.
Yeah, it's not that many.
So if your favorite one might be left off of the list, don't blame us. Blame Disney, okay?
Tough tomatoes. Sorry. I guess Anna and Elsa don't make the cut this time, but you could say I'm a little frozen, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow. We will be ranking the Disney princesses based on their iconic status, their role model status,
their feats,
what
they accomplished or what they overcame during the movie,
and overall just their personalities and how much we like them.
Yeah, or love them.
And just a disclaimer, this is just our opinion.
Y'all know what they say about opinions. They're like another part of the body that we all have. Whoa. And I won't say because this is a Disney list.
This is a
child's program.
This is a child's plaything. Without further ado, let's hop into the list. Well, look at all these Disney princesses, Sarah.
Hey, girls.
Yo, what up, squirrels?
How y'all doing today?
What up? What up? What up? We will be starting off the list today with Ariel. From The Little Mermaid.
She's very curious to be a human, and she wants to know what that's like, and then she ends up falling for Prince Eric after never speaking a word to him, which is whatever, that was a different time.
So she's under King Triton's kind of power and will, and he's always like, you gotta do this, but she wants to rebel. She had so much teenage angst about hating her father.
She did. I get it.
Because with the scene where he destroyed
her grotto.
Yeah, that was messed up. After that happens, she's like, yo, let me go to the Sea Witch Ursula and sign a stupid deal.
Because that's a great idea.
It's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
And she just goes ahead and just signs it.
And then she can't use her voice to have a conversation with Prince Eric. She has to do this whole song and dance minus the song.
Is she a role model? Do you want to sign a contract without reading it? Not a good idea. Well, what else? She's a great singer.
She is a great singer, and she is very, very sweet and like kind-hearted and very curious. And I think that's a good thing. Like, we should all be curious and ask questions.
Pre-1989, she was the first Disney princess that the Disney studio released since, I want to say, Cinderella. Yeah, it had been like a 30-year gap or something. Yeah. So she kind of opened up the gates for the Disney Renaissance. That has to affect her ranking somehow.
That has to mean something, yeah. For me, I would put Ariel B+.
A B+, huh?
Yeah.
So I agree with it. She's iconic, but she's just not quite
She's okay.
She's cool. Next up, we have Snow White from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I'm wishing. Do you remember that?
She was the first Disney princess ever. She set the precedent. True. And Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first feature-length animated feature ever. Right. Obviously, storytelling was different back then. You couldn't really get into the depths of characters' wants and their backstory. It kind of just gets right into it. I liked her connection with the animals in the forest.
And the dwarfs.
She had this
ability, like a motherly, caring kind of way about her.
I love her animation too. Like it's just so simple, but it kind of just pops off the screen.
She has a few songs.
They're not really iconic.
No.
The movie, I think, is iconic. I'm gonna give her, I can't give her higher than Ariel, but I give her a B.
I would agree, yeah. I mean, I guess she overcame because it was her evil stepmother was like holding her captive and then wanted to kill her. Queen, so then she ran away and then she died and was brought back by true love's kiss to, again, a guy that she never had a conversation with.
He looked like a girl to me. Next princess we have Moana from Moana.
This movie, I think, is one of my favorites of like the newer Disney movies that have come out.
So like we said before, Snow White, when that came out in like the 1930s, storytelling was at a different time. Moana had the luxury of like 80 years difference of gaining how we as a society and culture view stories. So, we got to know her character, her like wants and desires and her fears.
From when she was a kid.
From when she was a kid.
It showed her growing up with some bomb music.
She overcomes so much. She helps her entire tribe and culture learn to navigate the seas again.
Yeah, she restores the heart and brings the land back to peace where Taka is not ruining everything anymore.
Taka!
Ew. And I find her to be very inspirational. Her songs and the lyrics are just so good. Like
I think she's a great role model for kids.
She's a perfect role model.
She goes against her father's wishes in a sense, but it's not like the Ariel way where she's like, I'm going to sign a death contract. It's more like, I'm going to go do this thing that I have this calling for.
For the people. It was for her people.
And obviously she succeeds. She overcomes getting a demigod.
And all of the little like road bumps that they came into, they came across those crazy little troll things. Yep. The giant crab.
Ooh, Tamatoa. Yeah. I just love the journey. Gosh, I am kind of leaning toward like, is it an S or an A+?
I was gonna say A+.
Let's give her an A+.
My inclination.
Yeah, A+. Next up, we have Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. Now, Aurora, she got a spell put on her as a child. Birth.
Yep, at birth. It was her like party when she was a kid, like her christening or something like that.
Right, and the king and queen were like, yo, we're gonna throw down. But wait, don't tell Maleficent.
But then she finds out and is like, hold on,
let me
snitches.
crash this party. You didn't invite the Belle de Ball.
And prison Maleficent.
Ew. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but she was asleep for most of it. I think she has the least Disney princess lines ever.
I always thought she was just okay.
She's all right. I mean, she got to live in the forest with 3 fairies, which was kind of cool.
She's another one who, again, falls in love with a guy after seeing him once, which, like, to me, I'm just like, whatever.
Well, that's the whole trope of princess that era of, like, when they made it. I don't know. I don't like her as much as Snow White.
My inclination for Aurora is in a C.
Yeah, let's give her a C. Next up, we have Mulan from
Mulan.
She seems very relatable. She wants to be this, but her family wants her to be that.
I just love how she overcomes that. She goes to fight in her father's place because he's ailing and has a bad leg under the guise of being a man, because obviously the women couldn't go and fight in the war. And she defeats
the Huns.
She defeats the Huns.
Yo, she got down to business.
She defeats Shan Yu. She overcame a lot.
The songs are really good. I mean, she's an icon. She actually has the highest death count of anybody in Disney like history. When the Huns were coming from
and the avalanche.
She just shoots. Ooh!
She came full circle. Like, she ended up bringing honor to her family. That song in the beginning, "You'll bring honor to us all." I forget why she was doing all that makeup and stuff.
You'll bring honor to us all.
But she ended up
because that's part of their society. So that was like a hierarchy.
But she brought honor to her family by saving China and saving her father's life. And I love it. I love that movie.
I'm gonna give her what, like an A+? Let's give her an S.
I was gonna give her an S. I love Mulan.
She's great. Next, we have Merida from Brave.
If you could change your fate, would you?
The movie itself I liked it, but it also just, I don't know, it was kind of recycled to me. It was like Brother Bear.
She had kind of some reflections of Princess Jasmine in the sense that she didn't want to be bartered off to some guy. I'm shooting from my own hand. She also has some of that teen angst of Ariel. Her and her mom could not understand where each other was coming from. And in that sense, I do like how the movie came full circle, and in the end, they were able to see things from each other's perspectives.
Right. She seems like a good enough role model. However, she did, and again, it reminded me of the Ariel thing, not think things through. She went to see the witch to change her mom's fate, and she just gave her this little pie that she didn't know anything about, and she's like, eat it. And it turned her into a bear. So,
and then she left it there for her 3 little brothers to eat.
I mean, she's a kid, but at the same time, it's like, it's not really that cool. I'm looking at the B-, C.
I would say like a B-, I think is fine, right?
Okay, next up, we have Tiana from Princess and the Frog. I really like Tiana.
I love Tiana.
Now, as far as role models go, she's got one of the best ones because she came from poverty and she's had this vision and dream of opening her own restaurant in New Orleans. And everyone's like, you can't do that. But she never lost that vision and dream. And obviously at the end, she achieves it.
And from hard work, she worked hard.
To me, she seems more like almost real than anyone else out of the whole Disney princess catalog. It did happen in like 1926 or whatever, the 20s. So it's kind of closer to our time, but it just seems like a more realistic goal and vision of somebody. And then she obviously wins the heart of Prince Naveen, and they both fall in love with each other.
And she didn't like him.
Right. It wasn't like a whole like, I love you.
My God.
So that was kind of a really cool spin on things.
They both had really good character arcs. Naveen was this like self-centered, kind of egotistical guy, and then he kind of went on a journey.
And look, a lot of people might overlook Tiana as a princess. I'm gonna give her an A.
I was flirting with S.
Oh my God, I was like, what's the hesitation?
No.
Let's give her an A. S is like,
okay.
I mean, I really love Tiana.
I do too, and I love that movie, so maybe I'm biased at wanting to put her in S, but she is very, very high up there. She's great.
Next up, we have Belle from
Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
So Beauty and the Beast, one of my all-time favorites from Disney, and Belle happens to be one of my all-time favorite princesses. She has a father who happens to be quirky, but in this period of like 17th century or 18th century France, they all ridicule him and they ridicule her for reading and writing.
What did Gaston say? Like, you're reading? Like, this book has no pictures in it.
Like Tiana, she seems kind of realistic in a sense of what she overcomes with kind of going against a whole town, really, that's like, yo, you read, you write. That's not what women do.
Yeah, like the whole opening song is just them bashing her, basically.
There
like,
goes a baker with the... And he's like, yo, why are you reading? She's very realistic until, I guess you consider she marries a beast.
Well, things happened.
Is she a role model? I would say yes for young women.
Even if you're being ridiculed, like, still do you and do what makes you happy. And she's very noble, too, because she took the place of her dad in the beast's castle to be held prisoner.
Yeah.
Because she wanted him to be set free. And then she stood up to Gaston when he was trying to rally the town to go and like storm the beast's castle. She was like, no, you're the one who's the beast, Gaston. And then he threw them in that loony bin cage
wagon
car thing.
Yeah. Every other girl in the whole county or village or whatever would have like killed to be with Gaston, but she was like, no, I know who you are. So that
good for you,
takes a certain level of knowing who you are and
maturity.
Yeah, I'd give her an A.
I do too.
Yeah.
Belle's good.
Next, we have Rapunzel from Tangled.
Oh, got some tangles in here.
Like the old fairy tale, she's locked away in a tower, but this time it's Mother Gothel, taken away from her true mom and dad as a baby.
The king and queen, so she's really a princess and has no idea.
Well, hence the Disney princess.
Thanks, Mother Gothel.
Anyways, Gothel takes her away because her hair has magical properties to make her young.
Flower, gleam and glow, let your power shine.
I really like Rapunzel. She's funny, quirky, and she also has a vision of like, look, I want to go see what those things in the air are out there by the village.
The lights. And I also like, again, with her and Eugene or Flynn Rider.
Flynn Rider.
I like how they first met and she didn't fall for him, like, just by looking at him. It was like a gradual thing over the course of the movie.
Is she a role model?
I would say so. She's brave. She overcame. I know she was super nervous about leaving the tower at first, and she discovered she was a princess, which is a good thing.
She might have the best Disney princess hair.
Well, I mean, it's got magical powers.
So we'll give her a little. We'll give her a little bit for that.
A little edge.
I'd give her like a B.
I do too.
She's better than Merida.
I think so.
IMO.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Pocahontas from Pocahontas. Pocahontas was the chief's daughter, actually in real life. This takes place in like 1620 or something like that, when there are like colonial explorers coming over from Europe, and they want to dig for gold and take over the whole area. They are met by the Native Americans there.
Pocahontas and her tribe.
Right, and the chief wants to declare war because he's like, dude, what are you doing?
Pocahontas falls for John Smith. They kind of make a friendship that turns into a little bit more, and she shows him how
to paint with all the colors.
The colors of the
and what's just around the river bend. I remember her jumping off the waterfall, and she's just maneuvering with a canoe.
She's very adventurous.
And she's very skilled in that sense.
Headstrong.
Like a warrior. In that sense, I would say she's a great role model for girls and women, right?
Yeah, and she stands up to her father too. She stopped him from killing
John Smith and from starting a war. Really, those are some pretty big feats.
Those are.
And I take that highly into consideration. I give her a B+.
I do too. I think she deserves a B+.
Next Disney princess is Cinderella from Cinderella.
Cinderella, night and day, something.
So her father, who was from like a noble, high society life, passes away. But before he dies, he marries Lady Tremaine. First of all, it's like, dude, what is your taste in women, bro?
Yeah.
They get married. She's evil. Lady Tremaine has two mean, evil daughters who are Cinderella's sisters or stepsisters. They lock her up in a room, and if she doesn't do her things, they lock her up. She has this ability she could be A, crazy, or B, like it's magic. She can talk to animals like mice and birds. Her outlook is so optimistic. Like
for the situation that she's in, she's very positive. She never really lashes out at her stepmother or the sisters, even though they're awful to her. Like, I would have snapped.
She can remember what her life was before that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. She overcomes all this stuff. She doesn't have a dress. The dress gets torn. She can't get out of her tower. Like
they lock her away so she can't go to the ball.
I really like her story the more we're talking about it, to be honest.
It's a really good story.
People rip on her a lot for being some original Disney princess who doesn't have much of a backstory, but
I think out of the original Disney princesses, I think I might like her a little bit more than the other one.
Is she a role model? I would say, based off of what you said, her temperament and her optimism is something that we could all
learn from that. Like, no matter what the situation is, we can still have a positive outlook.
Locked in a tower? Let's sing to some birds, you know what I'm saying? Talk to some mice.
Let's make friends with the animals.
What's good? And she's an icon. So all these things taken into consideration, I would give her like an A.
I would give her an A as well.
And our final Disney princess is
Princess
Jasmine from Aladdin. Do you trust me?
No.
Why not? Jasmine was rebellious, but in a way that wasn't quite like Ariel, who was doing it out of
It didn't
spite.
seem like teen angst. She didn't want to be auctioned off to be someone's wife, and she wanted to see what it was like to be one of the people and not live in this lavish, I don't know if it's a castle, but this lavish palace.
It's a palace.
Yeah.
Her father and her have a weird dynamic.
He wants to get her married to somebody because that's what they did, and she doesn't want that.
Like, as a role model, there's really not much that I could say negative or positive about it. It's very in the middle.
I mean, I think it leans a little bit more towards the positive because it's not like she did anything to hurt anybody. She just didn't want to be pawned off on somebody. She has that good line. It's like, I am not a prize to be won.
When Aladdin was stealing bread and she was like, stop in the name of the princess.
She helped him from getting
I know.
put in jail.
I'm saying that.
Okay.
Yeah. What feats did she overcome? I mean, she got to overcome, I guess, her father and being wed against your will.
Well, and then she got to choose who she wanted to be with, which was Aladdin, because they formed that relationship over the course of the movie.
But comparatively to any of the other Disney princesses who perhaps liberated countries or stopped wars or did these big feats, that's an amazing feat in a personal scenario, I would say. But I don't know, I'm giving her like a B-.
I'd probably put her in the B category as well, but...
Is she better than Merida?
If you could change your fate.
If you could change your fate.
Hey!
Yeah. So let's review the list. S for Mulan.
For sure.
I kind of really like Moana. Let's move Momo up here.
Here are our A's.
Ew. In the B's, I mean, is Ariel a B or is she an A?
I think she's a B.
I wanna be. These princesses are. And then Aurora is a C. That's our list. Let us know what princess rankings you agree with, what you disagree with, and maybe, here's the thought, Sarah, we make a follow-up video of princesses who weren't on the official Disney princess list.
Yeah, I think that would be a grand idea.
Let us know if you want to see that video. And again, let us know what other content you want to see too. Comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to SaraNate so you never miss a new video. We drop new videos once every week, so make sure you hit that bell button
Bing, 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 bing.
to never miss a new episode.
Thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the flip side.